QQQ has been the king of growth for investors for a very long time. In 2026 could be a year that it gets dethroned. There are some great ETFs on the market that can do better, that can maybe track some different indexes or even some different companies, and that could outperform QQQ for 2026. Now, I looked up 5 different ETFs that could outperform QQQ in 2026, and some of them may not be even on your radar. So let's dive in and see which ones they are.
This video is purely educational content and should not be considered personal finance advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and I don't know your financial situation, risk tolerance, or even investment goals. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and always do your own research and consider consulting with a qualified financial professional before making any investment. Alright, let's get on to the video.
Hey guys, my name is Steve and I run the Frugal Expat website where we try to help people to save more and invest better. And today we are talking about 5 ETFs that could outperform QQQ in 2026. Now, we're not just talking about pure tech in these ETFs. We're going to be talking about those that are got technology, those that are got some momentum, those that are looking at AI, and even some of those that are looking at some internationals. So let's dive in and see, why QQQ may not be doing the best and some of those ETFs that could be on your next buy list. Now let's talk a little bit about QQQ. Now, first of all, QQQ has an expense ratio of 0.20%. It is an ETF that tracks the NASDAQ 100. So these are the top 100 companies on the NASDAQ index, and it's got non-financials. So no companies like JP Morgan is going to be in this ETF. It's got about 50 to 54% of technology. So it's got some of those top technology companies. It has had a performance of about 19.32% over the last 10 years average. And so that's good news for you. And this ETF is a great one that you could buy and hold. If you want a cheaper one, you can always go with QQQM. So those are some of the great things about QQQ. Now, on the other hand, QQQ could lag behind because, maybe it's done very successful because it's had some of those great holdings. Now, some of those great holdings we're talking about is Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Tesla, Costco, and some of these holdings are doing really good, but there are also Mag 7 holdings. So let's say the top 10 right now has about 60% of the portfolio. Now, if those top 10 do lag behind, QQQ will also lag behind. So we're not talking about just a whole diverse bunch of companies on one ETF. We're talking about a little bit of a top-heavy ETF. So that could be some reason that maybe it may not do as well. Maybe it doesn't have as much technology, and so maybe it's not doing as well. Maybe it doesn't have some of those momentum plays, because right now Costco's in this ETF, but in an ETF like SPMO, Costco's no longer in it. So there are so many reasons that it could do bad, but it is a great ETF that you could buy and hold and put in your portfolio. But now let's jump into those 5 ETFs that could outperform QQQ for the long term. Our first ETF is going to be SOXX, which is the iShares Semiconductor ETF. Now, this ETF has an expense ratio of 0.35%, meaning it costs about $35 for every $10,000 invested. It's got about 35 different semiconductor companies a part of this ETF, like Nvidia, Broadcom, Micron, AMD. It's also got about $17.6 billion in assets under management. And one great thing is year-to-date performance is about 42%. And so this is a great ETF that you can buy and hold for the long term. It's got some great semiconductor companies. It's got some great AI companies that are helping to make and create and design the chips. And this is just a great play for if you're looking to grow your money. Now, there are, of course, risk, because every investment has risk, because if the AI boom kind of bursts and everything crashes and burns, this may not be a great one for 2026, and it may be better to have a diverse portfolio like QQQ. But if you're looking for maybe an aggressive move and you're hoping that the AI and tech will continue to boom, then having SOXX could be a great ETF to add to your portfolio. Now, if you're looking for another one, SMH is one of my favorites, but SOXX is one that a lot of people haven't been talking about. Now, ETF number 2 is going to be FTEC, which is the Fidelity Information Technology ETF. Now, this ETF is a lot like VGT, but it's got a little bit of differences. First of all, it's got a cheaper expense ratio of 0.08%, meaning it costs about $8 for every $10,000 invested. Now, year-to-date performance is a little bit over 23%, and it's got about $16.9 billion in assets under management. Now, this ETF does have about 291 different companies. Now, it's not only tech, it's got large cap, mid caps, and small caps. So some of those tech companies that may have not been found a long time ago, like Palantir used to be a small cap company, now it's a large cap company. It's got companies like Nvidia, it's got companies like Broadcom, A&D, Cisco, Oracle, and of course Palantir. Now, this ETF does have not only semiconductors, but it's got software, it's got cloud systems. So we're talking about a great ETF getting all those techs all into one ETF. Now, it's not just the high and large cap techs, we got mid caps and small caps. So when those small companies are continuing to create, it's having a piece of those. Now, why do I think this could outperform QQQ in the long term? Well, first of all, we have some of those AI chips, those AI companies designing. Now, with AI, we also need data centers. We also need cloud computing. And so those are some other companies that are a part of this. Now, QQQ is only going to have the top 100 non-financials in its portfolio, with about 50 to 54% of it being technology. With FTEC, you're getting 100% technology. You're getting all those small caps. You're getting all those mid caps. You're getting cloud systems, software. You're getting AI chips. You're getting designers. And this ETF could soar in 2026, and it could also go boom. So remember, when we're always doing this, remember to contact your financial advisor and do your own research. Now, talking about research, one of my favorite places to go and research these ETFs is Seeking Alpha. Now, Seeking Alpha is a great place where you can dive into different ETFs. You can track them. You can see how they're doing, seeing their expense ratios, seeing their performance, seeing their dividends, seeing what companies are a part of them, and even looking at seeing how you can compare them versus other ETFs. Now, they also track stocks. They also have great articles written by some analysts just to give you guys some extra information. Now, this is a great place where I take a look, I research, and I use it to help make some of these videos. So if you want to dive into Seeking Alpha, I'm going to leave a link in my description and a link in my pinned comments. There is a pro plan that you can help, and you can go and dive in deep. And there's obviously, you can just see as much free stuff as you can. But I'm going to leave a link in my description and link in my pinned comments. Now, it is an affiliate link, and if you click on it, I will get paid a small commission, but with it, you're also getting a huge percentage off. So take a look at it, let me know, and let's get back to the video. ETF number 3 is going to be IDMO, which is the Invesco International Developed Momentum ETF. Now, IDMO is one of the newer ETFs on this list because it's been around for not quite 10 years. It's been around for a little bit over 8 years. Now, this ETF tracks in international developed countries with a momentum factor base. So we're talking about those companies that are going up and up, and it's getting rid of the companies that are not doing so well. So it's got companies from different developed countries like South Korea, Canada, Japan, Taiwan, Europe. All these great companies all together have created a great ETF. Now, this ETF's got about $2.38 billion in assets under management. It's got an expense ratio of 0.25%, median cost $25 for every $10,000 invested. It's got about 195 different companies, and like I said, it's going to rotate them semi-annually. So they're going to find the ones that are winning, and they're going to kind of take the ones that are losing out of the process. Now, it's got companies like HSBC, Siemens, Rolls-Royce, Alliance. These are some great companies that are around the world that's making this ETF run. Now, in 2025, internationals did really well, with IDMO doing about 42% year to date. And so that means it is primed to have possibly a good 2026 year. Now, if it does have a good 2026 year, that's good news for you because it is doing much better than QQQ. It's doing much better than the US market. And so when we're having some of those internationals as a part of your portfolio, it diversifies it. And another cool thing is it also has some dividends. And so if you're looking for dividends in internationals, this is a great one to buy and hold. The dividend yield is sitting at 3.68%. So you're getting a pretty good yield. And with the 10-year dividend growth, it's around 13.7%. So it's beating some of those great dividend growth ETFs like an SCHD. So you're getting a pretty good ETF that's got performance, internationals, dividends, and dividend growth. So this was one of the reasons I put it on here, because it's not only growing in price performance, it is also growing those dividends that continue to create a great ETF. Now, if you're looking for something that's non-US, this could be a great one to add to your portfolio. And like I said, it could outperform QQQ for 2026. Our next ETF is a newer ETF on this list, much newer than IDMO, and that is QTUM. QTUM is the Defiance Quantum ETF. This ETF has an expense ratio of 0.40%, meaning it costs $40 for every $10,000 invested. It's got about $3.21 billion in assets under management, and year to date, it's done about 38%. The reason I like this one is because this ETF is all about adding those quantum computing companies within one ETF. Now it's got about 86 of those companies, with only the top 10 making up about 14% of the portfolio. So it's quite diversified in adding some great companies. We're talking about companies like Quantum Emotion Incorporated, Nvidia, Broadcom, and AMD, and Micron being a part of this ETF. Now this ETF is quite new, and so it may not be the most liquid. I mean, it's got about $3.2 billion in assets under management, but most people probably haven't heard about it. And so this is a great one that you could buy and hold in the long term. Now it does have multiple different companies that are part of it. And if you're looking for some more quantum computing, you're looking for something that's a little bit different than the semiconductor, a little bit different than technology, but it's got some quantum computing, it's got big caps, some small caps, and large caps all in one. This one could be the one. Now it's got a more expensive expense ratio, but it is doing much better than QQQ. It's doing much better than the S&P 500. And so this could be a play in your portfolio. Now, I'm not saying that this go all in. I mean, that's a little bit risky, but just remember to do your research and to continue to learn and ask your financial advisor for more advice. All right, in ETF number 5 is going to be SPMO, which is the Invesco S&P Momentum Factor ETF. Now, this ETF I like because, first of all, it's done pretty well compared to QQQ over the last 4 years. In 2022, it went down about 10.46%, while QQQ was down about 33%. And in the following years, it's done pretty well compared to QQQ, and so this is a good one that you could buy and hold for the long term. Now, it's a momentum factor ETF that tracks the S&P 500, so it is following those top 100 companies that are doing really well, and it's subtracting the ones that are not. And so it semi-annually, it rotates the winners and the losers. And so you're getting maybe a 72% turnover ratio, but it continues to grow for the long term. People are starting to dive their money into this ETF. Now, a little bit of some facts about this one is the expense ratio is 0.13%. It has a year-to-date performance of about 27 to 28%, beating QQQ, which is sitting at about 21.78% for year-to-date. This ETF has about $13.7 billion in assets under management. It's got 100 different holdings, and the holdings right now are Nvidia, Broadcom, JP Morgan, Walmart, Visa, and Netflix. So these are some companies that are part of this ETF, and it's making up those top 10. Now, what we see is, companies rotate in, companies rotate out. Before September's rotation, Costco was in it. After it, Costco was out. So we see that it's continuing to add the winners and kind of subtracting some of those losers. Now, this could be a great one that you may want to add to your portfolio. It could be one that you may want to make it your core. It could be just something that you may want to put in 5-10% because you like that momentum factor ETF. Now, why do I think SPMO could outperform QQQ for the long term? Well, like I said about QQQ, you have about 50 to 54% in technology, and some of those top stocks are the Mag 7s. Now, if they kind of crash and burn, well, SPMO is a little bit different. It's got about 34% in technology. It's got about 14%, 15% in financials. It's also got communications as one of the top 3 sectors in this ETF. And so you are getting kind of a diverse ETF with different holdings. I mean, we've got Walmart, JP Morgan, and Netflix making up some of the top 10. You also got Visa, you've got of course, Broadcom and Nvidia. But you got different companies that make up this ETF, and they're not just technology. They're not just, non-financials like QQQ. So this one is poised to do pretty good in the long term. I'm not going to say it's going to be the best. I'm not going to say it's even going to outperform QQQ, but it could. And it has outperformed QQQ for a couple years. So that's just something to think about. And these 5 ETFs could be something you may want to add to your portfolio. This video is for educational purposes only, and I just like to dive in and kind of look at some of the ones I haven't talked about. I always talk about SMH. Well, there is another great semiconductor ETF as an SOXX. There's some other ETFs that you could be looking at to add to portfolio. Let me know in the comments. What ETF are you looking at that I may have not mentioned that could be a good one for 2026? Do you like some of the ETFs I have added to this portfolio? Now, if you want to find a great video on some ETFs I'm going to be aggressively adding to my portfolio, check out this video up here. All right, and I'll see you in our next video.